I am light and I am with a group of other light beings now.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
I'm with my soul team.
Look
We are
around.
here. We are here with, there are energy, wings of energy that is around us, but not attached to us. It is a team. It is a big team. I am one of these members of this team. But there's wings, energy wings, giving out a vibration, but they're just not attached to us. It's like around the group.
So these are wings. Could you describe the wings for me?
They're like a vibration of a wave of a wing. It's hard to put into words, but it's like the wings of the group that are behind us. But we are this light group.
What is the purpose of the wings? What is it that they do for you?
It is holding us in this place of frequency as we have come down to be here today.
Thank you. Tell me more about yourselves. I would love to know more about who you are.
We are all of you. We are the team of all of you. It is many of us that we know each other, but we are coming forward to show how big this team is.
This team, as beings of light right now, are you aspects of beings that we know who are existing in a physical sense someplace else?
Yes.
So are you the galactic teams of myself and Claire?
We are the higher aspect of the galactic team of you and Claire.
Thank you very much for being here. I would like to know if you have specific information that you would like to share with us, which brought you here today.
You asked us to come through today for higher information.
Thank you. Yes, we did. We did, and we appreciate your doing that for us. We have many, many questions that we would like to ask you. And the first one is, I'd like to get to the ones that have to do mainly with something we just saw. We just removed something from Claire's physical body, an energy of fear. Can you share more about who and what that was and where they came from? That was one of the questions we had for you.
There is many things at play at the moment, and each energy is wanting to survive. Each aspect of everything is wanting to survive in their energy form. And what people need to understand is that the word fear was used, but this is an earth word. It is just less light. Everything that seems as if it is a negative is just a less light vibration. And then there are other aspects which have more light. And they all have the space to exist in this time as they need to move into a place of light eventually. But it is nothing to be feared as much as that's what it feels like. It is just an aspect of the whole with less light in it. But when it is in the system and when it is in this place that it is now, there is such a feeling of separation. And this is what the separation brings about. It's this need to survive, this need to win over the other person. There's constant separation, but there is no need. But again, the need to win, the need to survive is very strong. And this is how it is presenting itself at this point.
Thank you. This brings me to a question about something that many of us as practitioners are seeing with our clients right now. And I got some clarity yesterday during a session. However, there's been much talk regarding the injections containing AI technology, which is meant to control the person that it goes into, manifesting itself on people, on things, as a black goo or a black dust. Hopefully I phrased that correctly, because you did say that we need to be asking the right questions. So what can you share about all of this? Is that fear energy removed one and the same? Is that where it came from? And what can you share about this black substance?
It is a separate existence that wishes to be here. As we all know, everything is created and it follows a path that it chooses. And this particular goo or black dust that people are seeing, not everybody is seeing it. It is only the beings that are on a different vibration that can see this. And this particular life form and energy is also choosing to exist and be and experience in its own form. If it is not the wish of the person to interact with this particular form, then they do not have to. But it is still trying to have its own experience and existence in this plane, as this is a plane where existence can happen on many levels. And it has now come forward to be and exist on this plane.
Is the black substance we're seeing an organic substance, or is it indeed created in a laboratory or by other beings?
It started off as a creation by other beings, but it has now taken its own life form and its own consciousness. Very much like all creation, it is created and then consciousness eventually develops and evolves. And this particular type has now evolved into having its own consciousness. You may not agree with its decision of consciousness, but it is still there and it is still conscious. It has formed its own existence, but it was once created for the purposes of other beings who may not have your intentions.
I see. People are taking in this substance, this consciousness, without really the knowing that it's there. They're thinking it's something else. So what can be done aside from just removing it to help these people that it's affecting adversely?
They do know it's there.
They do
They
know.
made this choice. There's going to be many exits, a mass exit of many, and they have made this choice. They may not remember the choice in human form, but every single individual has made this choice on a conscious level, and they are using this as exit plans. There are many exit plans that are currently happening on the planet right now, and people will now start to see that a lot of people are leaving, whether it be through suicide or becoming ill, or whether it be from the injection. It is about mass leaving and exiting. And this is the choice they have made.
I see. Thank you. Where are these people going who are choosing to exit?
Some are going back home. Some are choosing to incarnate into other aspects of themselves. But this is all part of their choice. Some people in physical form are choosing to stay on the vibration that they are currently in, and some are choosing to raise their frequency and go on to another level within human form.
Thank you. So, when you referred to it as mass exits, are you saying it's more than what is normal? Is this because of the vibration rising on the planet?
Yes, it will be more than normal.
Thank you.
People are starting to notice now that people are dying, people are leaving, people that they know. The illusion of before, say possibly a year ago, you were all told people are dying, but nobody really saw anybody dying. And that was to bring about the manifestation of actually having deaths come about. Because as you know, everything is created and manifested. And when the system was telling you that there will be mass deaths from whatever it was that was presented on the planet, you are now starting to see that there will be more and more deaths. And whether it be the tool of the jab, or whether it be their own demise, or whether it just be that they just happen to die, it is now a manifestation of the reality of the mass deaths that was said were supposed to come through, and now it is coming through.
Thank
And
you.
it's part of the plan of the exiting.
I would like to know, we were both, Claire and I were wondering, there's so much volcanic activity, it's ramping up all around the planet. And there's been a lot of flooding, just a lot more than, I hate to use the word normal, but more than what we have considered normal before. I'd like to know if this is linked to these mass exits, or if it is connected to things like the clearing out of the tunnels, activity in the inner earth cities, or is it just Gaia changing and shaking herself off? What can you share about all of this?
It is a culmination of a lot of them. It is part of the mass exits. It is also the fact that Gaia's frequency is changing and elevating up, which is going to cause disruptions on her body, as it does for everybody else. Everybody notices when their own vibration lifts that their body has a reaction. And the same is happening with Gaia. Her body is having a reaction to the lift of the vibration. This was all part of the plan. And having the people exit and having the experience of natural disasters again was part of the exit plans.
Thank you very much. We are looking around us at all of these things happening. What we are being told right now is everybody is talking, whether it's through sessions, we've seen this from other people posting on videos about some big event this October, something significant. And we were told this also by Archangel Metatron. What can you share with us about this?
There's going to be a lot of truths coming out. And it is going to be very big, the truth. But the hugeness of it will be the reaction of the humans, because there's going to be many truths coming out. There's also going to be more natural disasters, but it's all about the information that is coming out. It's a culmination of many things happening at once, but it is going to be waking up even the sleepiest of people.
That's a good thing. Thank you. So we will keep an eye open for that this month. We've also been told that there are going to be massive interruptions to the supply chains on Earth of necessary goods. And it looks like that's already starting. What can you share with us about that situation?
Again, this is a manifestation of what was told to everyone. If everyone is told, which they have been told through your sources of information, whether it be the television or the internet or on any form of communication that everybody listens to, you were told a while ago that you will be experiencing these things. And then when you are told these things, it creates that situation to come about. There is no lack of anything, anywhere at all. It is just a creation of lack. If people focus on this, it will create it. There is plenty everywhere at all times. It is just the manifestation that the humans are choosing to participate in to create more of a drama, more of a fear-based situation. And of course, the darker energies are participating in this as well. But also the aspect of going forward and looking after yourself as a human, looking after your human body yourself. Humans have become so used to having to go somewhere and get their food and having to go somewhere and get their water, and they are not being self-sufficient. And part of this is to encourage people to become more self-sufficient and stand in themselves.
And what about those of us who live in cities where we don't have land to grow food, or we are reliant in many ways on going out to get these things? What advice can you give those of us in that situation?
Eventually, they will move out of the cities. Eventually, they will go back to being more land-based and greenery, as it will not be viable to stay in the cities, as it will become unsafe and mass hysteria and panic will take place. And it is better to move yourselves away from these places. There will be opportunities and groups forming as they are currently now. There are many groups forming, as you would all call off-grid. There are many, many forming now, and eventually people will start moving into this lifestyle and be more self-sufficient. But in the places where you live, in the cities, they will eventually die down and become quiet.
Is Claire in the correct place right now, or is there a different location in store for her, someplace else she should take her children?
She herself will eventually move. She herself will take her family to a safer place. She has been offered on quite a few occasions to come and join many groups, but she is still standing back because she knows the right one will come forward at one point. But this is where she will eventually go, as it will not be viable to stay in a home that is reliant on electricity that may not be there anymore, or the water that comes through the pipes will not be there anymore. And she will have to eventually move somewhere else, as many people will.
So do you foresee the need for this coming before this shift and the split between the 3D and 5D?
It's part of the shift. The shift is a long process, as I'm sure many of you are feeling. But if you are standing back, you will see it as a very quick process. But for you, it is long, and people moving to places where they need to be in their human form is part of the shift, because as they become more in tune with group living in the sense of more natural living, that will bring about a higher vibration for the people as well.
Thank you. As you are collectively the highest aspects of both my team and Claire's, you are aware that one of the things that I hate to use the word waiting, but that's really the only one I can come up with, that we are anticipating, let's say, is the event, that moment of when the two paradigms split apart and new earth is created, or new earth is available to us in a physical sense. We would love to have you tell us more. And I know you can't give dates, but is that happening very soon? Can you tell us more about that?
It has already begun. You all feel it. You are confusing your anxiety with excitement. You are feeling a sense of anxiety, but it is actually excitement because you know that something has shifted. You know that something is changing. But because you are all used to attaching the word anxiety to this emotion, it is actually excitement that you are feeling.
Thank you. And as you know us, that excitement that we're talking about can manifest itself in a very uncomfortable way. One of the we were talking about this before the session with you, actually, and the advice that was given through Claire was that she and I need to ask the correct questions. Am I asking the correct questions, or is there something I'm missing as we proceed?
You are getting to the point of where your focus of what we were all asking before as a team, which was very much a 4D focus. You are now starting to raise yourselves out of that and we are starting to ask more questions of more higher levels. There is so much more to know, but you can only get the information at the level that you need at this point. But we have come forward as a very high aspect of your team now to give you as much information that you need to know now.
Thank you. One of the biggest causes of genuine anxiety, this would not be confused at all with excitement, is, and this is very important for both Claire and myself, and we wanted you to hopefully help us with this, is the not knowing consciously. We understand that when we incarnated, it was necessary to have at least a portion of our memories taken from us. We, not just us, but many, many awakened people at this time are finding it difficult not to know more about when this is going to occur. One of the reasons for this, as you are aware, is it is becoming harder and harder for us to coexist with the people who are sleeping and on the lower timelines and lower paradigm. If we had some idea, any idea, as to how much longer, linearly speaking, this was going to take, it would alleviate, it's not about excitement again, the actual stress that is lowering our vibration from time to time. What can you give us and tell us now that will just give us some idea of how much more of this we have ahead of us?
It is all currently happening now. You just all need to open your eyes. You are already in the shift. You're already feeling the shift. It is everywhere around you. I understand it is difficult when you have to participate in what you call a separate timeline or a different timeline. I understand. But everybody needs to remember to see the beauty even in the timeline you do not resonate with. Every single thing has a spark of source within it. If you do not resonate with that, that is fine. But remember, everything has the spark of source, but the direction and the timeline, as it is used in those words, that you are all wanting to be on, you just keep focusing on that, and that will become bigger. Look at what you have already manifested now. Look how far you are now. You need to stand in that and remember how far you have already become, and just be in that. If you look back on the timeline of maybe 10 years, you were all in different places and different frequencies. And now look where you are. Hold gratitude for where you are now. And look at how well you have done so far. We are very proud at the levels that you are getting to now, and it is speeding up. I understand that you wish to have a stamp of date and time, but if you stand in the glory of how far you have come in such a short period of time, that is where you need to stand. And your anxieties and stresses will relax, and be proud of yourselves, of where you are now.
Thank you. So Claire had a question, and this is an interesting one. It's related to the topic we have right now. Again, she has read recently or heard on videos that there's a potential false flag that could happen, a fake ET invasion for the purpose of awakening the people who are asleep. What can you share about that? Is that true, or is that something else entirely?
There are many false flags, as you would put that. There are going to be events that will bring even the people who classify themselves as awake and spiritual. There already is events currently happening to confuse them. Then whatever is going to be put out there, please understand that it is already under the banner of being a false flag. Everything out there is false at this point in time to create confusion, to create division. The human being has such a need for this person to come along, or this energy or something to come along and save them. They're always waiting for someone to save them, whether it be coming in the form of a false flag or an alien invasion or whoever it is. The governments, they always need these people to save them. And these people that need that still are going to jump for the first false flag that comes along, thinking they are being saved. And the ones that understand that they themselves are the ones that need to save themselves, they will not participate in whatever is presented to them as a false flag.
Thank you. When the timelines do separate and the Earth does split into a 3D and 5D directions, two different directions, what has Claire chosen as a plan? Is she going to be going back as her Arcturian self, or is she going to be on one of the many 5D timelines? What is the current plan for her?
She is coming through, as she herself is the Arcturian, which is settling into herself now on a daily basis. She herself will be coming forward. What we do as Arcturians is seed. We seed many things, and there will be a lot of seeding that will be needed in the new earth to bring many things about. And she will be part of the seeding as her Arcturian self.
So she will be taking on her Arcturian form and body when she lives in New Earth working.
It will be a molding together with the Arcturian and the new crystalline body. She will just be both. She will be within herself. We are doing this now with her body allowing to settle in the Arcturian energy, to raise the frequency of the body and turn it more into a crystalline base. And the same is happening with you as well and many of our team. This is why you have chosen this modality of what we are doing now with hypnotherapy. It is allowing you to come into yourself. It's allowing you to align with your higher self so that you can then function and be the higher self in your crystalline self on the earth's place.
That is very good. Yes, you were talking to us and listening before. So Claire will not, she will look different. She will be looking more like her as an Arcturian. Is that correct? On New Earth?
Yes, she will not look the way she looks now at all.
Okay, well, yes, that even though that's a good thing how she looks now, I know we're all anxious to embody. And for myself, I know that Claire and I are in a similar situation. I will be back. Am I doing the same thing with my Pleiadian body?
Yes, you're bringing in your Pleiadian body and it feels uncomfortable, I know. It can feel very uncomfortable. But your Pleiadian self is finding it very uncomfortable being in your body that you are in now.
Right, I'm aware of that.
Yes, you're finding that are very uncomfortable.
Yes. So this was a big topic for us before we began the session, was the integration of that self, it's hard to say remember being, but that self we're aware of, don't necessarily, but we're still in this human body where we can't, I don't even can't, we haven't figured out or remembered yet how to access all of our abilities. Trying to phrase the questions the way I think you want me to. Remembering how to access our abilities. And again, there are just all of those things with the earth form that can be very frustrating. So how do we accelerate that integration from where we are now, that integration, that mixing of our true self into this body we're in now? How do we make it happen faster? That is what we want.
If it did happen faster, it would probably not work. But look at yourself as you are now. Look how gifted you are now compared to the average everyday human. You have many, many gifts and you are already connected. And I think that you need to understand that we are at a point now that you are expecting to have some sort of other abilities. And your abilities you have now are your craft. And yes, when we do all move up to a different vibration, then the abilities that you wish to have will show itself a little bit more then. But at the moment, the abilities you have now are the gifts that you have. And I am now being told to tell you that if you wanted to go and fly, it wouldn't match the frequency of the current planet that you are on. And it would not be right for that to happen because you chose to be on this frequency. And you have to play with the toys that you already have on this frequency. But as your frequency rises, which is what we are all participating in, this great rising, as it rises, you will be on a different frequency where you can be able to physically do things like fly or move or go from one place to another. In a blink of an eye, you will be able to do these things. But doing these things now on the vibration that you are on would be out of sorts and be not part of the toys that you need to play with.
Do Claire and I possess, we worked on this on the last session with her based on things we've intuitively come up with or have seen in meditation or in visions. Do Claire and I possess implants in our body that may or may not be turned on, that would have enabled us to do these things? Communication, moving from one planet.
You have a form of intelligence within yourself that would be classed as a AI form. It has been placed there to help ground you where you are at this moment in time. It has not been activated for its other purposes as yet, as you needing to ground into your body and bring it to a crystalline level is what you need to focus on more now. You do have the gifts to go within your mind wherever you wish to go. You are already doing this.
Yes.
You need to trust that. Claire herself has a crystal within herself, and she is integrating with that crystal, which is attached to her Arcturian self. And they are bonding and becoming stronger. And this is why she is having many headaches at the moment, because the crystal is activating and connecting into her Arcturian self.
I see. And the implant that we were talking about with me, I know that is an Arcturian made device. Is that correct? That's what I've always seen.
Yes, it is.
And is it for the same purpose as Claire's crystal?
It is very similar, but because you have a Pleiadian energy to you, your Pleiadian energy is wanting to move very, very quickly and
Yeah.
wanting to just go forward quickly. And this thing was needed to be put there to calm you down.
Ah, I see. I can understand that. Everything you said was exactly correct. Um,
Mm.
so, is this the highest version of ourselves that Claire and I are integrating at the moment? And others also that may be hearing this?
Yes, this is the highest version of self.
Thank you.
Claire was having downloads of whether our highest selves in the creation form is Pleiadians or Arcturians. And she is right with that aspect, but there is a higher version of ourselves further past that, or higher than that, that is not necessarily participating in the creation of everything. As you are your Pleiadian and your Arcturian selves, you have a better grasp and aspect of how to create and what you are doing. But there is a portion of yourselves that is further back from that, that is just being.
Thank you. Are the physical symptoms, such as having a cold, feeling lightheaded, dizzy, not fully here, are these all symptoms of upgrades? Because I know many people are experiencing these things right now.
It is an aspect of it, but what it is also doing is when you people are having colds and fevers and whatever dizziness that is going on within their physical bodies, it is also clearing away the toxins that are there. There are many toxins that have been built up and many things that has been changed within your DNA, and a lot of that needs clearing. So when people feel dizzy or unwell, that is toxins and the rebalancing of the bodies.
What advice can you give to people in general who are going through these upgrades to make it a more comfortable process?
If you are having a day where you are feeling busy, stop. Do not carry on with your busy day. If you are having a day where you feel good, then go feel good. You need to listen to your bodies. You've been so manipulated into thinking that you have to do things at a certain time. You have to work, you have to eat, you have to do all the things. You've been so conditioned and manipulated into having to stick to a time structure. And your bodies are screaming out to you to say, please stop. Just be for a moment so that we can integrate, so that we can readjust ourselves. But people tend to not stop and they want to still carry on. And then they get more and more dizziness and more illness. Just be with your bodies. We are working hard at this point in time to help integrate many things at this point. There are downloads, there are DNA changes, and we need you to be calm and bring them in.
Thank you. That's probably one of the more challenging things that we do when we're here. And many of this busyness, that from the perspective where you are, that you see us stopping, a lot of that is because we're still in that third dimensional matrix where finances are important. We need to work. When is that situation going to balance out?
That will eventually balance out because, as you can now see, as you are looking around, the whole monetary system is starting to collapse. It's been collapsing for a while now, but it was collapsing more on the higher levels, and now it is now filtering down to the lower levels of the humans where it just doesn't seem to be working. And for this system to fall away, another one will come forward. I am not saying that the new system will necessarily be the higher frequency system, but it will be another system within a system, but it will be better than the one you have. And eventually people will start to realize that they do not need a monetary system, because as I have said, more people are going to become more independent with themselves and take care of each other, and the money system will fall away. But a new system is starting to form now, and many people will participate in this new system, but that eventually will fall away as well.
And will Claire and I still be on the timeline to experience the progression of this monetary system? Or is this something that is going to happen after we transition to 5D Earth?
It is already coming through. It is already happening. It is money without actual physical money. As you can see, it is already on your internets. It is not paper money as you've been used to. It's now forming into internet money. This is already the new system coming in, but more and more people will participate in this. But more and more people will be moving away from this, which is part of what you all as a team will be eventually moving away from this. But just remember that this is just a tool. Money is just a tool. It's how you use that tool, but also stand in being self-sufficient yourselves, which is very important.
I see. And what else can you tell us about the new Earth? What would you like to share that we need to know about it?
It is much lighter, and it is a lot brighter than what you are in now. Your visions will change, because now as you see things with your three-dimensional bodies through your eyes and your hearing and your tastes and your touch, this will change. As you go forward, you will be seeing and feeling completely different things, and the joy that you will all be feeling and the peace that you will be feeling will be something you have not experienced on the level you have now. You will integrate into this. There will be colors, there will be sounds, there will be vibrations that you are not experiencing now, and it will be a blissful existence. And you will be able to see many of your family as light beings. As you are starting to connect with them now, you will see their form as light beings.
You are referring to our family that is not incarnated with us right now?
I'm talking about the team of this family. You will be able to see family that have passed away if they choose to come in. Some people have chosen to leave the earth, and then they will come back eventually, choosing to come onto the 5D realm. Some people have chosen not to go through what seems to be a very hard period right now, as they are choosing to leave and exit, and they will come and join in a 5D level.
I was actually not referring to humans that passed on. I'm referring to, if you look kind of within what I'm thinking, my Pleiadian family, my family. I really don't have a lot of people, and I don't know if Claire does in her life. But what about in both of our instances? Will we be reunited with our galactic families, the people that we miss and know?
Yes, you will have more freedom to come and go on any vibration you choose. If you choose to be with your galactic family on 5D, which you are not choosing to do, then you could if you wished. But if you wish to stay in a different dimension, in a different place, you will have that choice. As it feels now, you do not have choices in the perspective of the reality you're in now, but you do have choices. But it's not the type of choices that you will have going forward into a 5D place. These will be much more free choices to make on more of a galactic level.
This was another question. What is Claire's current choice? Is she going to be working on a 5D timeline, or is she going to go back to whether it's her ship or her home planet? What is she currently choosing? Because on a conscious level, she does not know that.
She is going to help seed, but as the Arcturian self, she will be seeding and then she will be going back home. She is only here on a mission at the moment. This is not her home. She
Right.
has felt this before, especially as a child. She has felt on many occasions very homesick, even though she would be in her room in the earth. And she understands this is just a mission. This is not her home. But she will help assist in bringing about the 5D realm. But she will then go back home.
And I know what I've chosen on a conscious level. What are you seeing? Just, I would like to, I'd like to know kind of what you see in that aspect for me.
You do not wish to participate in the 5D at all. Not at all. You were choosing to move to go back to your home as I will be doing eventually. You're choosing to go back to the dimension and frequency where you are comfortable. You are also having a sense of loneliness and feeling this need to go home. But you are not going to stay as long as what Claire would stay. You would be leaving as soon as you know that this is the time to go. You will be going back home.
How will I be transitioning into that state? Like, what will I be taking this body with me, or how will that happen?
You are leaving this body behind.
Thank you. That's what I've sensed. I appreciate that. Before I bring Claire's consciousness fully back, it's wonderful to be able, as we can communicate, both of us, with you all more on a fifth dimensional to seventh dimensional level. It is wonderful to be able to talk to the highest aspects of our own team. And while we have this beautiful line of communication open, what messages and advice do you have, not just for Claire and I, but for the people like us who are awake and struggling with this kind of combined reality right now? What can you tell us? What advice or message do you have?
Remember that you are creator beings, and every single thing that you participate in this creation, and every thought and every feeling, you are creating. And it's not necessarily on big levels, but every single tiny aspect of your existence, you are creating. And when you grasp this concept, you will be able to consciously start creating. Because a lot of people, including the group, are subconsciously creating and then feeling as if they are the victims of the situation when you yourself have created the situation. Consciously make these decisions on a second by second basis of what you wish to bring about. You must remember you are the wave that has come down to bring about this new earth. So you need to create the new earth, not expect an external to come and bring it to you. You are here to create it. You are here to bring it about. This is what you are here for. So consciously make these decisions.
So now, do you have any final messages that you would like to give us?
Just remain in the now and keep yourselves calm. and everything that is going to come forward is meant to happen, and you are here to participate in this. You came here to participate in this. Remember that, and you are coming with strength.
There was another practitioner and I were downloading some information about geometrics, and I've been given constant reminders and downloads about the red crystals.
This is part of a separate group that are working with the crystals. There are many of you that are working with the crystals. There is you, and there is Shelley, and there are others. Claire is on the manifestation timeline at this point, but it is important that you yourself and your team within a team, which he has been shown before in another session, you are a team within the team, and you are working with the crystals, which is very important to be doing. And Claire, with her, what she is doing is working on the manifestation. That is the portion that she is supposed to be doing, is manifesting and seeding.
That's wonderful. And you were talking about groups within groups. Our group, and I believe this information first came out with Claire and I a couple of times, is that the group of us that seem to be connecting as practitioners, we've done this many times over eons of time, coming together when there were crises or when there is a need. I've been shown us standing around a vortex and channeling energies. Can you share more about what we do, about this job that we are called to do as these events arise?
When there is a cry that is coming from a place throughout the universe and the dimensions, there is a cry for a need of assistance. We are the ones that come in and do this as a team. The same team that you are seeing together is an aspect of the same team you are speaking to now. And this is what we do, because what happens is a situation will occur where they have now had enough of filling their cups with whatever is going on that planet or in that dimension or in that frequency. The experience that they needed to experience is now happening and it's full, and they wish to change to a different experience, and they feel pain in their situation. It is like a beacon, and we will then come forward and help assist whatever it is that is needed to raise the vibration, to take it to the next level that it needs to go to. That is what we do as a team. We change the frequencies and vibrations that is needed to be changed.
Thank you. It's good to have some clarity on that part of the mission. I would also like to know if Claire is connected to something. I don't know if you are sensing my thoughts, what I'm thinking of right now. I've been shown, and it's been a little confusing as to kind of put the pieces of these images together. But aside from the work on the ship, I've been shown something, and it was triggered by some books I'm reading of Venus, and that within that Venus is not habitable on the surface, and it contains domed cities within the body of the planet itself. I was shown this as long as I can remember, and recently have seen it written about. Is this some place that Claire knows also, and am I remembering it correctly?
Yes, she has been there on many occasions herself. Venus was once inhabitable on its surface, and it's very similar to what is happening now with the Earth. They had people living on the outside and people living on the inside. I use the word people loosely, but you know what I am meaning.
Yes.
And of course, now the situation with Venus is they have all chosen to dwell on the inside as the external became a war zone. And it is very similar to what is happening now. But this is definitely a place that they participate in and go in. You can go anywhere you wish to go. You do prefer Venus very much, as it is a place where you find joy and happiness, and you go there.
Yes.
And Claire sometimes goes there too as her Arcturian self or in her dream world. But of course, she sometimes feels it is better to go to the place where she likes to be, what is very a blue dimensional place, where she is with us, where she is with her Arcturian self. This is a place that she chooses to visit on a regular basis. But she has been to many places, as you have yourself.
Yes. So, am I remembering correctly that it is where I live with my husband and children within these cities within Venus?
It is a place where you do live, yes. But like I have said, there are other places that you also like to go to, but this is one of your preferred places.
Thank you. And this place that Claire goes, is this actually Arcturus or is it something else?
It is not the actual planet of Arcturus. It is a dimension where we'd like to stay as Arcturians. It is very, very high vibrational. You are just pure energy. You do not have a physical form.
Thank you. I've always felt very close to the Arcturians. And I also like to see what the connections are with Claire, with my Arcturian friends. I do have what I visualize as three of what Dolores calls the Arcturian nurse beings. And I've always had a sense they're always with me. Is there anything you can tell me about them and if Claire is connected to these ladies or not?
Claire is very connected to all the Arcturians. She is very much connected into you as well as her Arcturian self. You have been seeing her in your visions. You know which one she is. She has
Oh,
been around you.
is she
Yes.
on the ship?
The one that is on the ship. She is the feminine energy. She is the one with the crystal on her head. That
And
is the aspect of Claire.
is she the one wearing the strand of pearls around her neck?
She is the one who is very decorated. Yes, she likes her
Oh,
decorations.
so she's one of my closest friends. I'm
Yes.
with her often. Oh my goodness, I'm getting chills. Thank you. That's a very strong confirmation I'm getting from your fifth dimensional and seventh dimensional aspects right now.
You
Thank
do know her very well.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing because I know that our circle of practitioners is growing. More of us are coming in and and I know Claire is this way too. We like to know things and put pieces of the puzzles together. So every
Yes.
time we get this information, it brings us tremendous peace. That is why we're always asking.
Yes. It is good to ask. It is good to acquire knowledge. You will understand that as you come across each person that you wish to heal, you will intuitively know which direction to go with that person. Yes, there is a standard level of script, but you will start to intuitively know exactly how to deal with that person. It is already coming forward and being shown to you. You are already feeling that maybe I should go in this direction or maybe I should go in that direction. It is all intuitively scripted coming through of how to deal with each person that you come across.
We so appreciate you just coming right in when we called you earlier before the session started and talking to us and then coming through in this way where we could kind of relax and just listen. So everything you've told us has been just magical, just perfect for us right now.